Hey everybody, this is Mr.FrightNight, and I have a story for you. It's called The Doctor. I remember growing up and hearing stories about a certain doctor that my grandfather always talked about. Well, apparently this doctor was insane. He wasn't a regular doctor, he was a killer. So the story goes, he grew up in Maine, and then him and his family moved to Mississippi. He continued school until he graduated. After graduation, he went to medical school. Shortly after that, he started his own practice. And then he started getting patients. I remember my grandfather saying his first patient was an older woman complaining about stomach pains. So he examined her and gave her medicine to cure her stomach problems. So the story goes, the very next day she passes away. Now the older lady had no relatives to give her a proper burial. So the doctor said, since she was under my care, I would take care of everything and all the expenses for the funeral. The townspeople agreed, and the doctor took care of everything. Now the doctor, instead of burying her, he took her to his house and placed her in a chair like a mannequin. As time went by, she started to decompose. Not sure why he did that. I don't think anybody knows why he did that. As she slowly decomposed, he started to get piano wire and a large needle and started sewing her back together. Meaning as her arm fell off, he sewed it back on. Her leg fell off, he sewed it back on. Her hair was falling out and he put a wig on her. This continued for quite some time, but he still continued his practice, and other patients under his care started dying, and then 4 more after that. By this time, the townspeople started to wonder, what's going on? Why is all his patients dying? So they decided to call the police, and the police started an investigation, not letting anyone know. They felt that if people knew, the doctor would hear about it. So one night, an officer snuck up to the doctor's house and looked in the window. He couldn't believe what he saw. When he looked in, there was a woman in a chair. It looked like she was actually decaying. So he entered the house. So when he entered the house, he was appalled. There was another person lying dead in the bed, also decomposing, and 4 more sitting around a dining room table. All of them were dead. They were all held together by piano wire. Now the doctor must have heard about what was going on in the investigation, and he was nowhere around. He was gone. As they pulled the bodies out of the house, they took what was left of them to the coroner's office, where they did an autopsy on them. They found out the doctor, instead of giving them medicine, he gave them cyanide. Apparently he wanted to kill them, to keep them around his house for company. To this day, no one knows where the doctor is, so be aware for the next time you go to the doctor.